How's it going, and welcome back to another video. And check this thing out. This here is the Wearable Gimbal 2 by FeiyuTech. It's the WG2 and by the company FeiyuTech, which is kind of a lower rung on the gimbal market, but it still seems to make pretty good products. It's the first thing I've owned by them, and I've been very impressed with how it's held up. So what this is a gimbal designed for the GoPro line of cameras. I think it can hold anything past the Hero 2, so the Hero 3, Hero 4, Hero 5, and it also comes with an adapter for the session cameras. It comes in a little squished case, and it comes with two handles that double as tripods, and they're two different sizes. One's the size of a typical gimbal handle, and one's a much shorter tripod. So this gimbal has got two 1/4 threads on it, so you can mount it several different ways to different camera accessories that you have. It's pretty basic as far as the interface goes. It's got only one button on it and then a charging hub. It's got several different modes, which is your typical tracking with the panning, and then the tilt stays locked. Then if you go to mode 2, it tracks with the tilt and with the panning, so that adds another dimension of movement that you've got control over. If you press it 3 times to go to mode 3, it flips completely around. Press it 3 more times and it flips at 180 degrees again. Now mode 4 is the time-lapse panning mode. What you can do is press the button 4 times. It helps to have it sitting on a stationary position. Press it 4 times, it beeps. You rotate the camera to the position you want. Press it again and rotate it to the position you want it to end in. That's the start position, the end position. Push the button again. It returns to the start position and will track up to the end position. You can set this to be on a variety of different intervals. You can have it do a full 360-degree rotation from 15 seconds all the way to 8 hours. So you can set up some time lapses and get some pretty cool moving shots. Now, one mode that I did forget in this initial shot of the video is when you push the button just one time, it locks off all the movement to where it stays pointing in the same direction no matter how you move around the camera, as shown here in this video. Press the mode button again to cancel that out, and you can continue shooting normally. It comes with an app for both Android and iOS that you can control the time-lapse movement functions, as well as you can actually use it to turn and tilt the camera manually. So if you've got it sitting in a stationary spot, you want to move it left and right, or you could use it if you're running it off a selfie stick and you've got it a long distance away from you, but you want to change where you're looking at. You can use your phone to change where the camera's pointing. You can hook the GoPro up to another device to be your wireless monitor. That way you've got a full shooting setup with both monitoring and controlling your camera. I skipped over this part, but when you switch from the bottom screw to the back screw here, you end up with the camera pointing in a different direction. You can just grab it, turn it around, and you're ready to start shooting any way you want. So this is a wearable gimbal. How can you wear it? I personally don't think you can really wear it on any of the standard GoPro accessories. These things are just too bouncy. This just introduces too much leverage and weight against that kind of mount, because you see how far it is off your chest, and it just gets too bouncy. This I would recommend mounting to maybe a helmet, something that's a solid mount, or a variety of other mounts. They advertise it being mounted on a kayak or a motorcycle, or things like that that you can't typically mount a gimbal to because they don't have as many mounting options most of the time. So without further ado, let's see how this thing performs. All right, so this is the GoPro Hero 4 Black shooting 4K. I'm walking around with it on the provided handle/tripod selfie stick that comes with it. I'm not trying to walk steady with it. My GoPro's almost dead, but I'm just walking as if I would normally walk, holding anything out in front of me. Now, I'm sure that the stabilization will improve as you try and walk more carefully with it, or are more focused on the shot that you're trying to get. So now let's try and walk deliberately steady with it. All right, I'm gonna use 2 hands. And now I'm really focusing on trying to make sure I get a nice steady movement, not too much bouncing up and down. I don't know, probably didn't look very natural because it's so seized up, but maybe there was a difference. I don't think you can hear any motor noise. I haven't heard any motor noise. I've seen some complaints about motor noise, haven't run into it. Another complaint was that the strap going across the front to actually hold the GoPro in place, that metal strap gets kind of in the way when you're trying to put the GoPro Hero 5 in. I don't have one of those, so I'm not exactly sure. Other than that, I haven't been able to really find a bad review, a legitimately bad review of the function of it or the waterproofness of it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. This gimbal is theoretically waterproof up to, I think, 3 feet for 5 minutes. So it's not, you're not gonna be able to use it underwater because it's not designed for that, but it can get splashed and you won't have to worry about breaking anything. So let's cut to a few more shots of this thing's running and we'll wrap this video up. All right, so we're riding along. I've got the gimbal here on a big, huge selfie stick. My buddy is behind us. I'll link his channel right up here. I'm monitoring the GoPro here on my tablet so I can see everything that's going on. And we're getting some drive-by shots for his channel. So here are what these shots look like on this GoPro. And we're gonna see how fast we can go with it as well. So far I've been very impressed with the capabilities of this tiny little gimbal here. It was sent to me by a company called TT Start. Check out their Amazon store and the links in the description if you're interested in getting something like this. They have a lot of other products as well. Go check them out. The battery life is pretty good. It's supposedly about 8 hours. I charged it up when I first got it and used it off and on for about a week and a half, 2 weeks before I had to recharge it. The way you'll know it needs to be recharged is it'll just turn off. I figured that out when I was filming my buddy driving his truck down the road. We ended up getting this thing up to like 50-ish miles an hour, 45, and it stayed strong against the wind, but sometimes it would just cut out and go limp. Another theory I have about why it went limp is because if it encounters too much consistent resistance, it'll just turn off. That's probably a feature to where if you throw it in a bag without turning it off, or it gets turned on within a bag and it tries to move and it tries to correct itself and it can't, it thinks, all right, something's not right. We're just gonna shut it down before something gets tore up. So I think that's a solid feature to have. This is a solid gimbal to get. If you want something small and discreet that doesn't take up much room in your bag and can also just plug right into the end of the selfie stick or any other 1/4-20 attachment you have, this here is an awesome gimbal. I've been very impressed with it. If you guys notice something in the footage of this with this gimbal that you say, hey, that right there means it's kind of a subpar gimbal, you need to be looking for X, Y, and Z, let me know down below so I can make my next gimbal review even better for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.